Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the weekly NFL show, courtesy of Whiners.com. Whiners.com, the number one site in the world for predictive sports analysis. It is the holiday season. Hanukkah is just passed. Christmas is coming up. I guess I saw something on Facebook the other day, because I'm old and I'm on Facebook. There's like 23 religions that celebrate the holidays during the month of December, so this time of year. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I don't know. I don't know the other 21. So anyway, whoever you are, whatever you celebrate, welcome to the show. We have a lot of special guests today, and as you see, we have one very special guest today. There you go. You know what? Let's just bring him in right now. You saw him on the show last year. He usually makes a yearly appearance. All the other time he's spending up there in the North Pole. Little known fact about Mr. Claus, though, big handicapper. Loves the NFL, can't get enough of it. He has the Sunday tickets, and of course he watches all year round there in the North Pole. He is all the way from the North Pole. You've seen him, and you know him. You've seen him in such places as the Hallmark Christmas specials and the Coca-Cola winter memorabilia. It is the one, the only Santa Claus. Mr. Claus, how are you today?
Oh, don't forget the day the reindeer died. It's featured in the movie Scrooged. And we got the $6 million man, Steve Austin, came and saved us all at the North Pole. So glad to be here with all of you. Most of you have been very good this year. Santa Claus's predictions lately, not so good, along with Mr. Well, we're not even going to name names here. But Merry Christmas to all, and so glad to be here with all my fellow prognosticators.
Very nice. That's I want to hear him use that voice for 60 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. And now we'll return to our more regular panels, and a couple of guys that hail not from the North Pole, but in a place where they get a little bit of snow. Let's start. I don't even know where everybody's showing up. We'll just start where we usually do. You know him, you love him. A big Patriots fan. And as a Chiefs fan, I didn't even give a chance to give these guys a hard time. It's like kicking a guy when he's down. So I won't do that. But it's Mark Ruelle, and he looks like he may be ready for Christmas too. What's going on, Mark?
I was actually rooting hard for your Chiefs last week. I need to see the L's keep piling up, so I was happy to see the loss.
You're ready to get that number one draft pick, aren't you?
We need it desperately, so sure.
Okay, very good. We're ready to fire on all cylinders, and I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we're going to be talking about the Patriots today, are we?
No, we are not. We are not.
It's amazing. I'll tell you what, I know everybody likes to jump on the NFL for everything that they do, but I can officially tell you as a Chiefs fan, I'm glad the Chiefs-Patriots game got flexed out of that Monday night spot, and we got to see the Seattle-Philly game instead. That Chiefs-Patriots game, that was a news fest. All right, and speaking of the Patriots, he's playing hurt today. This time of year, though, you got to go. You don't get to sit out in December. You can't make the club in the tub, and nobody knows it better than my next guest. He's in sunny L.A. by way of the New England area. It's the one, the only Seamus Cole. What's up, famous Seamus?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not going to experience a white Christmas today, so I did my best with a white shirt. I also know everybody has their own different religions, different everything like that. But I think we can all agree that the religion of sports betting combines us all. So I'm ready to get started.
I worship the altar of the 157 or 152 passer rating. That's who I have. And in Houston, Texas, he was day to day. He was day to day. But on game day, wakes up and he's active for today. He's playing. He's going to go the distance. It's our favorite Cleveland Browns fan. Holy shit, Browns going to be in the playoffs. It's David Delano. How are you, David?
I'm doing good. I mean, the game this weekend we'll talk about may have a lot to do that. I'm excited to be here. Obviously, this games, so many of them happening on Christmas Eve. We always recommend if you want to have a good Christmas, just go all in on these Christmas Eve games. And if they don't go well, then it's just going to be a terrible Christmas. No, I'm just joking, of course.
Sorry, kids, no presents. Daddy had the over. And last but not least, he is my partner in crime. He is my every other week host, and he hails from Denver, Colorado, now making his home in Denver, Colorado. That's right, folks. He doesn't get out much. It's Mason Folz. What's happening, Mason? You in the green?
We're doing well, Steve. We've been doing all right. This last weekend's football picks were a blast. That Monday night game last night was a little bit interesting. I had some big fantasy football playoff games that didn't go as well, so a little bit of a bummer. So glad those are done. We can finally just focus on these picks and get ready to have a great holiday.
Mason, everything going well? You hitting tons of games?
It's been good. We've been living in the green as of late. Fantasy football playoffs are in the books. I made it 1 week and got knocked out. So all my attention going to be towards the sides and totals this Sunday. So can't wait to attack these games with all you guys.
Yeah, my fantasy team started well and started poorly. Had a little bump there around the middle of the season, and then just decided to hit the glide path for the rest.
I thought it was my year. I had Herbert and Stroud at quarterback, and neither of them played. So picked up Geno Smith, and we know how that went. So I got to relive my Denver Broncos days and scream at the TV at Drew Lock for about an hour and a half. So it was an interesting Monday night, to say the least.
No, very nice. Yeah, that's what's so bad about the playoffs. You start off with Mahomes or somebody by the end of the season. Like, I'm starting Drew Lock. I hope it goes well. Well, surprisingly, it didn't. By the way, little point of fact, apropos of nothing. I'm currently sitting about 12 minutes from where Drew Lock grew up. So, if you want Mason, I'll stop by later and throw some eggs in his house. A good kid from all intents and purposes. My son played against him a lot. He always seemed like a good guy. So I'm sorry he's not a better quarterback. Oh, all right, guys. Well, we've got a lot of action. It's another week where we've got a little Thursday action. We've got a little Saturday action. And, of course, as always, we're going to cover the early games on Sunday. Gentlemen, I believe, am I wrong? Or are we done with buys?
We are done.
Yeah, we're done with buys. Yeah.
I thought so. I thought they went to week 15, right? Last week was the last week of buys. It was 14 the last week of buys.
14. And last week we didn't have any either.
Okay, very good. I don't even know. I just put my head down and I look up when the games are all capped. So I have no fucking idea. So, you know what? Let's get rolling. Let's head to sunny LA out there in Seamus Cole's neck of the woods. We're taking a look at the El Ramos. They are 4-point favorites at home as the Saints come to town. 44.5 is the total. Let's kick it off with Santa. Santa, give us your ho breakdown of this one.
Oh, well, the Saints defense has risen to 5th against the pass. No touchdowns allowed in the last 2 games. The pass rush has vastly improved, and they're only allowing 19 points per game. And, of course, the Saints offense will be getting Chris Olave back, and their chemistry has looked a lot better in the last couple of games. The big bugaboo for the Saints, who, by the way, I really like the name Saints. I think it's a good one. They were not good in the red zone, especially because Derek Carr has been a very bad boy in the red zone most of his career. 90% scoring percentage in the red zone in the last 3 games for the Saints. So Santa's going to say, because of the defensive strength of the Saints suddenly, and the fact that the Saints just don't score very much, average about 25 points per game on offense, not as well on the road, that this one's going to go under the 46 points. Cheers.
Hey, very good. I'm going to lose it every time we talk, I swear to God. Okay, maybe it's just me. Hey, Mark Ruelle, in your normal voice, what do you think about this game?
It's hard to follow Santa, but I'll try.
Dude, I'm saying.
I like the Rams a lot in this game. The Rams are playing very good football, and it all seems to come to play since Williams is back at running back. They're 2nd in total offense over the last month, including 5th in rushing. And the Saints continue to struggle offensively. They ranked 26th in rushing and 23rd in passing over the last month. I don't think 4 is much to give up at all. I think last week's Rams game should have been a higher total, but they kind of coughed it up late, letting them score. So I like the Rams to win handily here. I'll take the Rams -4.
Okay, very good. Mr. Cole, what say you?
I'm going to go with the Rams -4 as well. I think that with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua running up and down the field left and right, the Rams have been moving the ball efficiently, along with Williams being back. I really like their offense, but I can't say the same about the Saints. Like Santa was saying, Derek Carr, he's struggled in the red zone along with the entire Saints team. I just don't trust them offensively. I think they're going to continue to struggle on the road. I'd also lean towards the under here just because I don't think the Saints are going to score enough points, but I'm going to roll with the Rams -4 officially.
Seamus Cole, what do you say about this game?
I got to agree with Mason here. I do respect his lack of letting everyone know how much of his hatred he has for the Saints this week. I'm going to say it because I don't care enough. I don't like the Saints in this case. They are 4-9-1 against the spread this year, as Mason has been well aware of, and the Rams are 8-5-1 against the spread. The Rams have also put up 33 points on average in their last 4 games. Kyron Williams as the running back has made the offense so much better. And like everyone else has said, the Saints have not been able to put up that many points. I like the Rams -4 at home, where the Saints are under 500 on the road. So Rams -4.
All right, very good. Who haven't I called on you? Hey, Mr. David Delano, what do you say?
Well, I didn't think that we would all see eye to eye on this one, but I'm on the Rams -4 as well. As the Rams, they've covered the spread in 4 out of their last 5 and also won 4 out of their last 5 outright. And I really like how the Rams have been scoring points. They've scored at least 28 points in their last 4 games, and they've allowed 20 points or less in 5 out of their last 6. And that's not a good recipe for success for the Saints. Saints are 1-6 outright when their opponent scores at least 20 points this season. And I know we're talking about the spread, but as Seamus has mentioned, I mean, the Saints 4-9-1, one of the worst teams against the spread in the NFL this year. You know, they beat 2 teams that couldn't score their last 2 games. I'm on the Rams -4 as well.
All right, very good. Matthew Stafford has been on an absolute heater over the last month of the season. Leads the touchdown passes, throwing 12 of them against just 1 interception. Top 5 in passing yards over that stretch, averaging 265 yards a game. And his passer rating of 112.6, second only to Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. Daniel was talking about Chris Olave. I'm not sure he's going to go as we record this show on Tuesday, which we always like to point that out to you guys that we are recording Tuesday afternoon, so do check current injury information before you make your bets and see who might opt out too. We were talking before the show about how annoying that is to try to bet on these bowl games without the team opting out. But anyway, definitely check the injury report because Chris Olave was limited to practice today on Tuesday. We'll see if he returns. But, you know, the other problem with this New Orleans team, the run game has been an absolute hot mess. And they're going up against the Rams front that has allowed the fewest rushing yards per game, 89.2 since week 10. And the Saints' run defense, normally one of the highlights of their team, has been an absolute train wreck in 2023, especially the back half of the season. They've given up 160.3 yards per game the last 7, not counting a pretty good performance against the Giants, because nobody does. In that total is 228 to Atlanta and a mind-numbing 204 to Carolina. Good Lord, I don't even know how you do that. They're gonna have their hands absolutely stuffed full going up against Williams. Williams leads the league in rushing yards per game, 95.3, and he's averaging 131 yards over his last 5 games. Mason, we need a new graphic because we don't have a lone wolf because he's not taking the Saints, but he is taking a different pick from everybody else. Maybe Santa's the lone ghost in this one.
Can he ring his jingle bells? How about he rings his jingle bells?
Oh, there he is.
That's just bad right there. That sounds like you're dying on your bed and you're asking for that last glass of water. Don't you have like the bells, reindeer bells, and goat bells? Okay, still. The
good ones are on his sleigh.
Yeah, that's probably true. So, yes, I'm going to make it, for those of us that took a side, I'm going to make it a clean sweep for the Rams. I think this is a bargain basement price. It's Christmas. Here's a gift. Here, take this. I will. Rams -4. Rode them hard last week. I'll be riding them hard again this week. Unlike so many of the games we're going to talk about today, this will be one I am personally invested in. All right, so moving to the the AFC North, talking about the land of disappointment. The Bengals go up against the Steelers. Bengals 2-point road favorite. 38 is your number. Santa, how do you break down this one in the AFC North division?
Well, you could give the whole Steelers offense a big lump of coal because they're one of the worst in the NFL, and now they turn to that sterling young man, Mason Rudolph. By the way, love the last name, just throwing it out there. The Steelers defense allows 20 points per game. Bengals score 23 points per game on average. Allow 23 points per game on average, and they score 22 points per game. But that new quarterback who's come in, he is some hell of a backup, and I've had him on my fantasy team the past couple of weeks, and Santa's been ho happy with him. So Santa says the Bengals cover in this one.
Weird to hear Santa cursing. Weird to see Santa drop the hell bomb right there. All right, very good, Santa. He's got the Bengals. The Bengals are going to have their stocking stuffed full. All the Steelers get a lump of coal there. Very good indeed. Let's go with Mark Ruelle. Do you agree with Santa, sir?
I feel very good that I do agree with Santa in this case. I think the Bengals offense has been doing very well over the last month, even without Burrow. They're 4th in points per game, 2nd in passing. And one of the things that the Steelers, who have been a mystery to me all season that they've even won as much as they have, one of the things they did early on, they didn't give the ball away, and they created turnovers. Those things aren't happening anymore. They're 19th in giveaways over the last month. They're 28th through the air and 25th on the ground. Even with a Rudolph starting at quarterback, which we'd think would be a good sign, I like the Bengals here, -2.
All right. Well, you know what we did last time? Let's just do it again. Mason, what do you say?
All right, I heard you correctly this time. I'm not cutting them off, but I'm going with the Bengals -2 as well. I've been really impressed with Browning at quarterback. He's leading that offense. They're getting the ball out to their weapons. I did see Jamar Chase is a little banged up, so it'll be interesting to see if he plays, but I still got a lot of faith in Boyd and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon, so not too worried about his injury. I also just am not a fan of this Steelers team. They've now lost 4 of their last 5, and they've looked terrible against the Colts, who really didn't have any weapons either. They were without Pittman and Taylor and a bunch of other guys. So the fact that they couldn't hold up in that game, and then to Mark's point where they're turning the ball over left and right, I think Rudolph is going to do that. And I think the Bengals are going to stay hot and continue to win these games.
Yeah, people were looking at the Steelers' record earlier in the year when every game they were getting outgained, and they're like, why haven't this team lost a lot more games? Well, guess what? Now they have. So, yeah, it was coming for real. Seamus Cole, you on the Bengals here as well?
Well, I don't really want a lump of coal for Christmas, so I'm going to agree with Santa on this one. I like Rudolph leading Santa's sleigh team. I don't like Rudolph leading the Steelers team. I believe that the Bengals are going to win. Obviously, the backup's doing great for the Bengals, and they've scored an average of 32 points per game in their last 3 games. The Bengals actually lost to the Steelers the last time they played, so I think they'll be looking for some sort of revenge. Also, the Steelers, as Mason pointed out, they're on a losing streak. They're on a tumble right now, and the Bengals actually have a better chance of making the playoffs. I see them pushing everything forward and doing everything they can to get the win here, and I got to go with the Bengals in this case.
Mr. Delano, it's beginning to look a lot like Bengals.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a lone wolf on this one. I really wanted to find reasons to pick the Steelers. It's hard to see them losing 4 games in a row, but it's also hard to see them sweeping the Bengals in the season series, which they haven't done against Cincinnati since 2019. Whenever we're looking at these AFC North games, anytime I can get the team that lost the first contest either as an underdog or laying less than 3 points, I usually go that way because so often they split. It's really hard to find reasons to take the Steelers in this game. I mean, this is a must-win game, close to a must-win game for both teams, and the Bengals right now are just showing a lot more heart. No, Tomlin's never had a losing season. All things come to an end at some point, and like Big Ben said, that era and that Steelers culture, we may be seeing the end of it. I have to lay the 2 points with the Bengals.
Oh, very good. Now, I will. I'm going to preface this by saying, just anecdotally, and I have to check on this, but I believe when we have a consensus on this show, it is a terrible, terrible bet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like I said, I could be wrong, but just everything I remember, like, oh yeah, we all like that one. Oh yeah, that lost.
Vegas
So,
hears us. That's what they do. Vegas hears us.
I know. We're big fans. Big fans. Having said that, I'm on the Steelers. I'm on the Bengals here too. I cannot find a reason to take the Steelers. They can't score the football. They haven't scored more than 30 points all year. They haven't scored more than 20 since week 10 last month and a half. Cincinnati has a bad secondary, so teams have been able to exploit it. But those are teams that don't have Mason Rudolph starting. So we'll see. The Pride of Stillwater has not exactly had what you call a stellar NFL career. Steelers average is 13.4 points a game over their last 5. That's just not going to be enough. That's just not going to be enough. I don't love this Bengals defense. I'm not sure that, I'm not this playoff caliber team. But you don't have to be faster than the Bear. Just got to be faster than the Steelers. And I think the Bengals are plenty fast to get that done. Give me the Steelers at a nice short price there at minus the deuce. All right. So on this show, if you guys are regulars, I always bitch about the NFC South. Let's bitch about the AFC South. So what have the odds makers, or what have the schedule makers done? Oh, they fucking put them together. That's what we love. It's the Colts and the Falcons. A game only a gambler could love. Falcons, inexplicably, 1-point favorites. I would say the same thing if the Colts were 1-point favorites. I don't understand how anybody can be a favorite between these two teams. 43.5 is your number. Santa, both of these teams deserve lumps of coal. Tell me a reason to watch.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's what Santa calls a laugher there from you, Scott. There's no reason to watch this game unless you have some action on it. So let's go ahead and put something down. And Santa can't take either of these teams because, they both suck. So we're going to go under the number here in this game. That's the best that Santa can do in a laugher between two bad teams.
All right, under the total of 43.5. Don't hate that one bit. Let's go with Mark Ruelle. I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep for the under. That's my prediction.
No, I and this one actually, I think this. I'm looking at this and it's a Colts game all the way for me. Getting the point. Falcons' offense has just fallen apart over the last month. The one thing they could do early in the season was run the ball. Over the last month, they're 31st in the league rushing the football, and the Colts have been pretty good over the last month, stopping the run, 10th in the league. I never like it when teams start flip-flopping quarterbacks, and they're at it again this week. They're going to Heineke. I'm going to stick with the Colts this week. I'm going to take this Colts +1.
Okay, very good. Mason Folz.
Yeah, I got no. I'm kidding.
That was a good one. You actually got me there. I was about to let you roll.
100%. 100% hilarious right there.
I agree 100% with Mark. I'm on the Colts +1 as well. I like Gardner Minshew. The Colts have won 4 out of 5 games. The one they lost, they ran into that buzzsaw in the Bengals, which is kind of funny to say, but the Bengals have been playing good. They absolutely dominated the Steelers this last week. I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor was back. And I just like Minshew right now. He's got this team playing well on offense, regardless of who's on the field. And on the other side of things, I think Atlanta is terrible on offense. They struggle to consistently move the ball. They don't give the ball to Robinson enough. And like Mark was saying, if they're flip-flopping quarterbacks again, I simply just can't trust them. So I'm going to go with the road team here, and I'm going to take the Colts money line.
All right, very nice. Seamus Cole, you on the Colts here as well, sir?
I am, believe it or not. I mean, the Colts are the road team in this case, and they are actually 5-2 on the road this season. So they've proved that they can win away from home. It's also more of a momentum thing. As Mason said, the Colts have won 4 out of their last 5. The Falcons are on a 2-game losing streak, and they have lost the NFC South lead. I don't know if they'll ever recover it back. I got to go with the Colts on this one. There isn't much else to be said. I mean, the Colts are 9-5 against the spread, and the Falcons are about 4-10 against the spread. So it's a momentum thing. I like the Colts.
Okay. Mr. Delano, we've got a couple of Colts backers. Are you getting on that train as well?
Yeah, actually I am. Like Santa likes the under in this one. Mason mentioned how the Falcons offense has been a mess, and that's not a recipe to beat the Colts. The Colts have been much better on the road. They play much better defense on the road. And at 8-6, every time the Colts, even though one of them was in overtime, every time the Colts have lost a game this season, their opponents have scored at least 29 points or more. So low-scoring games, ugly games is not the way to beat the Colts. You got to beat the Colts by lighting up that scoreboard. And I don't think the Falcons have the firepower to do it. I'm on Indianapolis.
Yeah, I was going to actually point that out. This is a Atlanta team that really has struggled to see 4 points. They've been they haven't had a lot of low-scoring games. They had 7 in one game. They're pretty much going to be in the teens to low 20s. Haven't scored more than 28 points all season long. I like this game like Santa likes soy milk and biscotti instead of milk and cookies.
You were waiting to get that one. I like it.
And good bourbon.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's why I'm the host, guys. Oh God, this show is going in immediately in the National Broadcasting Hall of Fame. I can tell right now. Yeah,
you had the biscotti.
We're gonna make Santa the lone goat on this one too. I'm on the Colts too. This Atlanta team has been just one of my least favorite teams to play all season long. You think they got a little something, and they do not. They do not. They step up big, like they did against New Orleans. Tough game against the Jets, and then they go and shit the bed against Carolina. No more for me, sir. I've had enough. If the Falcons win this one, they beat the number, I'll tip my cap and say, well, you know what, fuck them both. But as it stands right now, I see no future with these Atlanta Falcons. Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ridder, don't care. Just no. Just say no to the Falcons. All right. Hey, speaking of the NFC South, you're not getting away that easy. Speaking of the Panthers at home against the Green Bay Packers, and that game is currently sitting at here, guys. Oh, we have that game.
Yep.
5 points.
It's -5.
No, I missed one.
-5.
I wasn't looking at the sheet. I was looking at a.
We don't want to know.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. You know what? Let's do Bills Chargers. That's next in the rotation order. So, my apologies for all of you that are waiting for the Packers Panthers. You just tuned in and said, "God damn, come on, get to the Packers Panthers. Just get to the Packers Panthers." It's coming. Next pick. All right, everybody, just relax. But first, we've got to talk about the Bills and the Chargers. Also in LA. How's that? Oh, Rams play on Saturday. Okay. Wait a minute. That seems like it's going to be busy. Home game for the Chargers as well. I understand there's a 2-for deal. You can go both days for $17. Pretty good deal. Bills coming to town off a big win. They're 11-point road favorites. 11-point road favorites over the Chargers of Easton Stick, and 42.5 is the number. Santa, you seem like you might be a big Easton Stick fan. What do you got here?
Horrendous is what I would say about the Chargers the last time. Oh, they took the field. For God's sake, they give up 63 points to the Raiders. Well, Chris Berman and I are about the same age, so we know each other, so I can go ahead and steal his bits. Speaking of bits, that's all that's going to be left of the Chargers in this game as the Bills come in on a mission. Did you see what they did to those hapless Cowboys? Oh, my God. Santa Claus says, Bills win going away in this one. I'm on the Bills minus the points. Maybe I need another drink. Anyway, I'm taking the Bills.
Did you see who they beat? I don't even know where I am. Mark Ruelle. Oh, holy shit, this is going to be a game. Tell us who's going to win.
Does anybody else feel like Santa has turned into Ed McMahon, or am I crazy?
Hi-oh!
11 really isn't that much. I'm a little reluctant on the 11. If you push me, I would say Bills. Certainly, I'll take the Bills minus 11. What I really like is the over in this game. The Chargers have officially mailed it in. Obviously, they gave up a ton of points to the Raiders. Notwithstanding that, Buffalo is finally playing the game they should be playing. They're running the ball effectively. They're second in the last month in giveaways, and they're 9th in takeaways. They could almost score the 42.5 themselves in this game. Don't be surprised they score in upwards of 35. And one thing the Chargers did show in the last game is they'll score some meaningless late points in the game. So I think this one will be a runaway, but if you want to be real solid about it, take the over at 42.5 in this game.
Okay, very good. And we've got a Bills, we've got an over, and we've got a Mason Folz.
I'm convinced that Mark's got my notes in front of him, as I've also got the over 42.5. I really like what he's thinking, as I think the Bills could honestly push this total over the number by themselves too. They've been rocking and rolling. Josh Allen isn't turning the ball over. Last week, he barely even threw it. They just let James Cook run all over the Cowboys, which was pretty impressive to see. I don't think this Chargers defense can stop anyone. Yes, they just fired their head coach, but I don't think there's even a spark to light with that team anymore. They're going to continue to struggle. And the Bills, yes, they did just dominate the Cowboys, but I think they might sleep into this one a little bit. On the defensive side of the ball, I think that the Chargers might get maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and just help barely push that total over the number. So I'm going to ride with the over in that one and hope the Bills score a lot of points.
Very good. You know, I know there's going to be somebody writing about the Raiders game this week and say, well, the Raiders have averaged 31.5 points over the last 2 games. Like, well, yeah. Seamus Cole, what do you got here with the Bills and the Chargers? You an over guy?
I'm with Chris Kringle over here. I like the Bills in this case. The Herbert is basically the reason the Chargers were still relevant for as long as they were. Brandon Staley is gone. Obviously, that solves one problem, but it also opens up another door for another problem of who's going to be the head coach. The Bills have been on fire ever since Sean McDermott called the team similar to terrorists, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I guess it's not weird if it works type of thing. But yeah, the Chargers, you saw last week's performance. I think it's going to be something similar with the Bills routing them. I like the Bills because the Chargers are also 4-9-1 against the spread this season, even with Herbert. So give me the Bills on the road in this case with the points.
Laying the 11 on the highway. Very good. Mr. Delano, do you love laying 11 on the highway?
I don't. And, it's hard really to find many stats here that are going to make you feel good about the Chargers. It's going to be a little bit more of a field play for me. But when you look at this team talent-wise, even without Justin Herbert, I don't think that the Bills are 11 points better than the Chargers on the road. I mean, the Bills are rolling right now. I know the Chargers, they've dropped 5 out of their last 6, both straight up and against the spread. I just feel like after getting beat 63-21, quitting on their coach, if you're any type of competitor, losing like that in the primetime game, you've got to be a little bit embarrassed. And I think that we've seen teams rise up after firing their head coach. You got a situation where the Bills are playing well, but I mean, they had a close loss to the Eagles. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Cowboys, and then they end the season with divisional games against the Patriots and the Dolphins. I think that this could be a look down spot, look ahead spot, and I think that based off of what we've seen recently, there's some value here. I don't completely love it. I'm not saying that the Bills lose this game, but can the Chargers make this a 27-20 game? I think so. I'm going to take the Chargers at plus 11.
All right. A lot of very, very solid rationale, a lot of good reasoning there, and I'm not fucking buying any of it. This is just a dreadful Chargers team right now. They can't run the football. Austin Eckler got 5 carries against the Raiders, 5 carries for 9 yards. I knew that without looking it up because Austin Eckler's the diamond of my fantasy team. So
Same.
thanks a lot there, guys. Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen. Yes, that's fantastic. Hard to believe I'm not going to win my league this year. Yeah, just no. I can't get behind this Chargers team right now. David said it. They quit on their coach. They quit on the team, and they've got Austin Stick starting. Meanwhile, the Bills are the latest AFC team to look like, hey, I guess that's the best AFC team. For a while, it was Baltimore. Every once in a while, the Chiefs will stick their head up there. But yeah, it's Bills looking like they're playing good football right now. Their results are finally matching their stats. Dick was fine. You look at his stats, it's okay. He was about 260, threw one pick, lost 2 fumbles. But here's the deal. He faced a pretty soft defense for the vast majority of that game. This is a Chargers team that was down 21-0 with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. You had the defensive back playing in Laughlin for the rest of the game there. So, yeah, he was going to get some easy yards underneath and over the middle. Here's an amazing stat about that game. Raiders scored 63 points and still punted 6 times. 6 times. So you had 15 possessions in this game. You know what? You get 15 possessions, you're getting it done. If you're a team that allows the other team to have 15 possessions, you're going to lose a lot of games by a lot of points. David was right in one thing that he said. The Bills aren't 11 points better than the Chargers on the road. They're about 20. Give me the Bills all the way, all day, day, as the kids say.
That's a good one, Steamroller.
All right, now, for those of you that are all excited, we're finally there. Stop watching after this. It's the Packers and Panthers. Panthers 5-point road favorites going to Carolina. 36.5 is the number. Rumors there will be over 7,000 people at this game, all in one place. So beware. Did you guys see fan shots of the crowd in Charlotte last week? Wasn't good.
Yeah.
Wasn't good. Let's start with Santa. Santa, who's getting everything they asked for between these two?
Well, I'll say that the crowd at the Panthers game is looking like a college bowl game, judging from so far this season. My gosh, with everybody entering the transfer portal, who the hell knows who's playing in any of these games? That's what I'm going to say. As far as the Panthers and the Packers, well, the Packers average 21 points per game, and they're not as good on the road as they are at home. And the Panthers, about 14 points per game, and they're not that good. So Santa's going under in this game. Under, I believe it is, 37 points.
Okay. I think we have it officially at 36.5, but shop get that 37, and I would definitely grab it as well. 37. I would call it a minor key number when it comes to betting totals. You get a lot of 24-13s, 23-14s, that sort of thing. So 37, pretty good number to keep an eye on. And speaking of keeping an eye on it, I know you've been watching this one, Mark. What do you got?
Well, like you, Mr. Steehn, I kind of feel the same way about this game as you did about the Falcons-Colts game. I just think shame on the Packers if they can't find a way to win this one comfortably. They have something to play for. They have the 10th best offense over the last month. I know they had a clunker last week. You would like to think they're going to bounce back against a Panthers team that just can't score. They just can't score. It's a terrible offense. They should get this done. 5 points to me seems like a break. I feel like this is at least a touchdown game if the Packers are on the game. So I'll take the Packers -5.
Okay, very solid. Mason Folz.
I'm going with the under 36 or 37 points in this game, as I don't trust either offense. Like Santa was saying, the Packers have had troubles on the road this year. And Jordan Love, he seems to have a teeter-totter kind of method with his game right now. Is 1 week he looks awesome, the next he looks terrible. And I just don't think he's consistent enough to really lead a team and score a lot of points in one of these NFL games. So I think he's going to continue to struggle. I know Carolina's been terrible this year, but I think their defense is going to get enough stops to keep this total under the number. And then the Panthers, everyone knows their story. They won last week. It was ugly, but they got the job done. I don't see them doing that 2 weeks in a row. See them struggling on the offensive side of the field like they have the rest of the season. So, yep, I'm taking that under 36.5 with Santa.
For those of you that missed that sterling result last week, I believe the score was it 9-3 when
9-7.
9-3 was 9-7 was the final. So it was 7-3.
Yep.
Falcons getting ready to go in and go up by 11 points through an interception at the 3, and then allowed the Panthers to go 90 yards to score the game-winning touchdown. So not ideal. The way that ended up. No, maybe it was 7-6. I'm sorry. It was 7-6. Falcons kicked a field goal at the end. That's why they only went 90 yards, not 97. But yeah, they just let them go right down the field. Just all right, Seamus Cole, what do you got?
Well, I hope I'm not going to be on Santa's naughty list after this, but I will take the over. I believe that, as Mason said, Jordan Love either has a good game, great game, or a terrible game. I think against a terrible Panthers defense, he will have a very good game. The Packers, as bad as Jordan Love or as inconsistent as Jordan Love has been, they have scored 20-plus points in their last 6 games. And the Panthers may have a little bit of a confidence boost after their game-winning drive. So I think the Packers can score at least, around 20, 25 points, and then the Panthers can do just enough to reach the over. And also the Panthers, whenever Mark goes with the Panthers or goes like not against the Panthers, they usually do pretty well. So I'm going to at least take the Panthers that they will score some points. So I like the over in this case.
All right. That is a wild-eyed optimist right there. David Delano, I've got a feeling you're jumping on the over right here too, huh, buddy? Get in. Come on now.
I'm definitely not. If I was on the total, I probably would lean on the under. But Mark, I give Mark credit. He's been right on the Panthers a couple of times here. But, I mean, the Panthers haven't – I don't think the Panthers have done well enough overall for us to say that anyone has – that the Panthers have done well a lot of the times when anybody's picked them. I mean, it's been maybe, 2 or 3 times all season now. And really for a lot of the reasons that Mark said, I am on the Packers with Mark on this one. I mean, the Packers have scored 20 points in 5 straight games. I think the way to beat this Green Bay team, even the last couple games that they won, Baker Mayfield, or that they lost, I should say. I mean, Baker Mayfield went crazy. I don't see the Panthers getting that type of quarterback play. They've scored 15 points or less in 7 out of their last 8. We'll see what happens with thinking that the Panthers get to – I think them getting to 13 points is a stretch, let alone more than that. I think the Packers probably win this in like a 20-13 type game. I'm taking the Packers -5.
All right, very good. Yeah, this is you guys all touched on it. This is a Panthers team that just absolutely cannot score at all, averaging 10.6 points per game over their last 5. That ain't good. Defense, though. Defense has been playing a little bit better. In fact, they gave up 207 yards to New Orleans. Gave up 204 yards to Atlanta. I know one of those teams are actually offensive juggernauts, but you know what? The defense has stepped up. They were able to hold Atlanta to 7 points last week, however they did it. So I'm on the under here as well. I lack the optimism of young Seamus. I no longer have the optimism of youth that there will be many points scored in this game. Yeah, I know this Green Bay defense isn't terrific, but I just don't think the Panthers are going to be able to get much going. I think the defense will step up here. I see this one somewhere in the 17-9 range.
Not in the Christmas spirit, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm not giving. I'm taking the under in this one. So Godspeed to you, young Seamus. Dude, is this your lone wolf? Did anybody take a side here?
Yeah, a couple people picked a side. It's
okay.
We've been sort of spread out.
I should show up for rehearsal more often. All right.
Santa's on the under with you.
That's right. I'm riding with Santa, and that's really all that matters to me. Let's talk. Oh my God, I don't know who he's going to root for here. Well, actually, I do. But it's 2 teams going each other. It's the Browns and the Texans. Houston will be hosting this game. They are the 2.5-point home favorites. 42.5 is the number. Santa, you gonna head down to Houston? You got that play. You don't have to sit in traffic all day to get to the game. You gonna go watch this one?
Well, rather busy week for me, Scott. So I'm gonna be staying home and getting ready for the holiday, But I'm a fan of 2 things that I know, and that is defense travels, and old men are great at being in charge. So I'm on Joe Flacco and the Browns +3 in this one.
I was just gonna say, one thing is 2 things that Santa likes: defense travels and huge breath. All right, very good. Texans -3. We've actually got it at 2.5, so we'll give it to you at 2.5, Santa. Hey, Mark, you like the Texans here?
You know, I'll tell you, I've been waiting patiently for the Dave Delano Bowl, and it's upon us now. So, what
It
it's
was
funny.
right there. How did I miss that? That's so perfect. I'm ashamed as a host. I missed that. Very nice, nicely done, Mark. Way to teamwork makes the dream work. Baby.
And I understand the Dave Delano Bowl will be one of the most watched. So just throwing it out there.
Well, CBS already sent Nance. Nance is already there. You kidding me? So looking at this game, it's funny. These two teams have almost flipped roles over the last month. I'd say the Browns have turned into a pass-happy team, and the Texans have been better on the ground. Houston is 29 through the air the last month. I am aware that obviously Stroud has missed a game and a half in that time. But the other thing that jumps out at me, and this is why at first I was leaning towards Cleveland. I think they are playing much better. The thing that scares me about the game is Cleveland's 30th in giveaways in the last month, which is and Houston, believe it or not, is first in the NFL in not turning the ball over. So what I do like in this game is the over. I think both teams can score. I like that, the weather conditions will be perfect there. I think Flacco's done a great job in getting the Browns down the field, and if they get behind, he can get them back in it. They finally have someone that can throw the ball. So to me, I don't think the line of 43 scares me at all. I think this one's going to shoot over it. So I'll take the over in this game.
Flacco's been taking them to Brownstown. Very good. Mason Folz, you on the over?
I'm sticking with the side here. I am hoping that CJ Stroud does play. If he doesn't, I will be leaning towards the over with Mark. But if CJ Stroud does play, I'm definitely taking the Texans at home. This Browns defense, they've had a few issues on the road this season, and I know Santa has said the defense travels, but the last few weeks on the road for the Browns, it hasn't traveled as well. And CJ Stroud, if he's rested and ready to roll, I think he's going to lead that offense. I think the Texans are still alive in the playoff race. They're going to be pushing. And at some point, I just can't continue to back Joe Flacco. I think he's going to fall on his face eventually. I know he's looked great, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a tough spot on the road, and I think the Texans cover the 2.5 point spread here for us.
Mason says no more back of Flacco. Seamus Cole, what do you say?
I'm kind of between two minds here because a lot of what Mason pointed out was true. Like, if CJ Stroud plays, I'm gonna take the Texans, but if he's not playing, I'm gonna take the Browns. So we have to wait and see for the next couple of days to see how it shakes up. I'm gonna assume for this case, for right now, that CJ Stroud is not available for this Sunday. In this case, I will take the Browns. The Browns are 9-5 against the spread, and the Texans have given up the 28th most passing yards on defense this season. So they have a porous passing defense. And Flacco, for all of his turnovers, as Mark pointed out, he still is able to lead them to drives as he did last game. I like Joe Flacco better than whoever the Texans plan to start, whether it's David Mills or any other backup besides Stroud in this case.
Him or Case Keenum?
Yeah, that one
Case
too.
Keenum. That's right. Yeah. Isn't he a Houston guy?
Yes, he is. Played for the Houston Cougars, yes.
Okay.
Right, exactly. Didn't have to move far. David, I'm anxious to hear it, buddy. It's the Delano Bowl. Who you got?
Well, obviously on this Delano Bowl, I got to give a prediction on the side. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm actually going to take the Browns on the money line plus 120. They're just finding ways to win games that they've been finding ways to lose for the last 30 years. So I'm going to take them there. But actually, my favorite play for this with Mark, I actually absolutely love the over in this one. As in the 3 starts, Joe Flacco has thrown at least 44 passes each. He's either thrown 44 or 45 passes in each game, and the Texans are 28th in the NFL in yards per pass attempt allowed. Now, on the other side, the Browns banged up defensively, and on the road, kind of as Mason stated, the Browns have been struggling defensively as well. 29th in the NFL in yards per pass attempt for the Browns. But the Browns' kicking game has been sensational. We're not going to have to deal with the weather elements. So I think it's going to be good for field goals. We're going to see a lot of passes, whether Stroud plays or doesn't. I think both teams are going to struggle to stop the pass. Browns have had turnover issues. That could also lead to the Texans probably being in a short field for at least a score. So I like the over in this game. Is my favorite play, and I'll also lean on the Browns. As far as Joe Flacco falling on his face, we'll see. But off of the eye test, I mean, I've seen from Joe Flacco, even with the turnovers, he looks much better than anything I've seen from Deshaun Watson in a Browns uniform. So
It's very true.
So that's what I like, the Browns and the over.
And he only gets massages from his wife, so that has to be a plus right there.
I'm sure the Browns owner is thrilled about that fact too.
We could have had the answer.
Does that make his wife a misogynist?
Oh my gosh.
Santa.
Oh,
Santa out of nowhere.
Little baughty Santa. Santa for the win.
I don't think Mrs. Claus would approve of that joke.
You are correct, sir.
Here's the thing about this. Yes. Here's the thing about this Browns team that is just absolutely psychotic. At home, their defense leads the league in points surrendered at 13.1 points per game. On the road, they are the worst defense in the NFL at giving up points, giving up 30.1 points per game away from the friendly confines of the stadium there in Cleveland. They're going to be without Delpit. He's on IR, maybe getting back to the playoffs. We'll see how that goes. But the biggest problem for me is on the offensive line of this Cleveland Browns team. They're missing some serious tackles, Jack Conklin, Dedrick Wills, and now DeJuan Jones. All of them are on IR. That's some serious attrition. It makes it hard to do what you want to do. Flacco not as mobile as he once was. I've got the Texans here with a huge asterisk beside it, and that asterisk is only if C.J. Stroud plays. If C.J. Stroud does not play, I will be passing on this game. We've got Stroud and Nico Collins, both questionable. Stroud still in concussion protocol. I believe this line is factored right now as if Stroud will be playing. Gentlemen, let me put it out to you guys. It's 2.5 favor the Texans right now. Where does this line go if Stroud does not play? How much does it move?
It probably goes to Browns minus 2.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
5-point swing. Yeah, what do you like that? You like that?
Yep, I'd see it flipping. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah, so you theoretically could take like the Browns money line now, and then when CJ Stroud plays, or the other way around, I forget, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
you could and profit either way if it happens. Either way.
Get a little arbitrage going there, boys. Get a little arb happening. Absolutely, you can do that. You could take the Texans minus the 2.5, and then the Browns on the money line. No, you go the other way around, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Take the Browns, and take the Texans on the other side. Yep. Get in the middle. So, absolutely. We'll see what happens, man. You don't get a lot of, that's the thing about being in concussion protocol. You're out till you're in. It's not like you're coming back from knee. He was limited in practice today, took some reps, that kind of thing. You're either well or you're not with the head. So I like the fact NFL is taking this a lot more seriously, but it's going to be at the detriment of the Texans if Stroud has to sit out his second game in a row. All right, let's move to Nash Vegas. The Titans host the Seahawks. Seahawks fresh off of their Monday night right behind victory against the faltering Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs fan, I can definitely relate to the Eagles problem. Wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to be good. Yeah, you're not. That's that. So Seahawks coming in from the road, 2.5-point favorites. 42.5 is the number right here. We got the kickoff with Santa. Santa, what you got?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Santa Claus, obviously the North Pole, very cold. I spend a lot of the off season between Portland and Seattle because in the Pacific Northwest, having hair and a beard like this, I fit right in. So it's not like I look unusual because it's full of freaks in that area that have weird hair and look a mess. So I know a little bit more about the Seahawks than most, and I'll tell you this. Whenever the Seahawks look like they're doing great, they're going to take a big dump on the bed, if you know what I'm saying. So I know something about having trouble keeping people believing in you. And that certainly happened to Will Levis, who was a very good boy and is on my definitely nice list. So the combination of Levis being undervalued and the Seahawks screwing it up just when you think they've got it figured out, I like the Titans +3 at home in this one.
Okay. Santa, weird hippie living up there in the Pacific Northwest. You're growing OG Kush, aren't you, Santa? Don't lie. Don't lie. That's all right. Very good. Let's move on to Mark Ruelle, shall we?
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to soak in that Seattle Santa story. You know what? that took a long road to get there, but we appreciate the trip. Seattle, watching that game last night, just a dreadful game between two teams that are supposedly playoff teams. It was really a dreadful game. Shame on Philadelphia for losing it. It seems like Carroll's been able to get his team, because I looked at statistically, these two teams, the Titans and Seahawks, there's not much dissimilar to the two teams. Both defenses are struggling down the last month. Both offenses are about the same. What I usually like typically as a better towards the end of the football season is you have to go with the team that needs it more. At this point, with the Titans eliminated, I got to think the Seattle has got to come in ready to go, and the return of Walker helps their offense immensely. It sets up the pass. It set them up last night, his ability to run the ball. And that to me is going to be the difference in this game. Having Walker back should make a difference, I think. And 2.5 in a game that looks like a field goal game seems fine to me. So I'm going to take Seattle -2.5.
Okay, very solid. Mason Folz, what do you got?
Yep, I'll be on Seattle -2.5 as long as Geno Smith does play that game. If Drew Lock's starting, I'll probably avoid this one completely or just take the under immediately. But with Geno playing, I really like this Seahawks team. I think their offense will be more efficient with him at quarterback. And with Walker back, they're finally been able to run the ball, which really helps that offense. Now, the Titans, I liked backing them at home in the beginning of the season, but they've actually lost their last 2 home games, and they absolutely collapsed against Houston this last week. They had a solid lead and then just spit it all up. I think that one hurt them. I know Levis did get a little banged up, so I'm not sure if he's going to be 100% starting. If that's the case, I don't trust any of their backups. I know we've seen them before, and I don't want any part in betting on them. So I'm going to ride with the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to lay the -2.5 points on the road.
Okay, very good. Seamus Cole?
Well, I thought I was going to be the only one to bet against Seattle in this case, but thank you, Santa, for backing me up. I do like the Titans in this scenario. If the Seahawks had lost on Monday night, they would have lost 6 of their last 7. As a result, they've lost 5 of their last 6, not counting the Eagles game, and their only win was a 3-point victory against the Commanders. So
Wait. You said they would have lost 5 of their last 7. As it is, they've lost 5 of their last 6, not counting the.
Yeah. So
okay. I just love the way you put that. All right, go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but like they would have lost 6 of their last 7, right? If they lost the Eagles. But I'm going to exclude that game. I think that's an outlier. So I'm going to go with the core last 6 games. And they've lost 5 of those, and they've won 1 against the Commanders by 3 points, which is not really a victory in my view. So the Titans is that?
It certainly wasn't in my book.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what I saw in there. I was like, yeah, okay, the Seahawks they won, but like that's more of a surprise than anything else. I don't want to jump on that bandwagon too quickly. The Titans are 4-2 at home this season. And the Seahawks have the 28th worst passing defense in the NFL right now. I mean, Will Levis is technically questionable, probable, not really sure. But I think he'll be playing. And Will Levis has proven to be the best Titans quarterback this year. I think he can throw to DeAndre Hopkins. Nobody on Seattle's defense really scares me in the cornerback and safety position to cover Hopkins. So I think the Titans can pull this one off at home.
Very good. That leaves us with David Delano.
Yeah, I agree with Seamus on this one. I like the Titans here, plus the 2.5. The home field advantage has really been a big difference with these two teams, with Seattle just being 2-5 in the road, and just I know it's one of those things that you hear from time to time, but with Seattle playing Monday, And then now going east, I think it's going to be a tough spot for them. I know Mason pointed out the Titans have lost their last 2 home games, but they lost both of those games by 3 points in overtime to divisional opponents, the Texans and the Colts. I'm not so sure that I would take the Seahawks over the Colts or Texans right now. I'm going to go ahead and back the Titans to cover.
All right, very good. Yeah, for me, this is a classic letdown spot for the Seattle Seahawks after their big win last night over Philly, and of course they finish up with the Steelers and the Cardinals. So it's not necessarily a look ahead. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a down. They're on a short week. They're traveling 2 time zones. Nashville Central, Delano. You know, that's your neck of the
You said
woods.
Nashville. What's that?
Nashville Eastern or Central?
It's Central.
Central until you
Central.
get to Knoxville, and then it goes east.
Is that where it is? I can never remember where the line is. So it's
Yep.
really close to 75 there coming through Knoxville. Okay, very good. So they're traveling 2 time zones. Still the point remains. This is Seattle defense. What I'm looking at is how they play the run. You know the Titans are going to want to run the football with Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears. Henry not been good lately. Last 2 weeks, 33 carries, 39 yards. They've got to get him on track. I think this could be the defense to do it again. 23rd is what the Seattle defense is in yards per carry against sending it. I think Tennessee's going to be able to run the ball here. And again, I think this is a bad situational spot for the Seahawks. I think if this was Seattle by 4.5 at home, I'd probably think about backing. But between their questions, quarterback position, traveling, and coming off a huge win on a short week, there's a lot of reasons to go with the Titans here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, we're coming down the home stretch here, gentlemen. Just 2 games left, and let's talk about those Jets, as they are at home to host the Washington Commanders. The Jets, I tell you, are a 3-point favorite. That's right, favorite is what I said. 37.5 is the number. Oh, Santa, what do you got?
Whoa, well, I guess I have to pick somebody or something. 2 bad teams. The Commanders will struggle to score against air. The same is true of the Jets offense. The Commanders against that great Jets D, I'm not sure they'll score much at all. And the Jets, well, they don't score much at all against anybody. So I'm on the under 37 in this one.
Under 37.5. The terrible Commanders defense has no fear. Has no fear of that terrible defense. Very good. Mark Ruelle, do you fear that terrible defense?
You know, I was just quickly looking at my Seamus math, and if they had had Aaron Rodgers, the Jets would have won 8 out of the last 10 games. But notwithstanding, I don't like
Aaron Rodgers. They're 1-0.
I don't like either team's offense. Just like I agree with Santa on this one. The Jets are out of it now, so we won't be seeing any Rodgers return. I can't imagine why they would put any risk on bringing him back. So I think that can go out the window. The Commanders' offense has just completely fallen off the rails, and now they have themselves also some questions at quarterback, especially with likely a new coach coming in. So to me, this looks like a classic under game. I can't imagine this game getting past 30 points, so I'm going to take the under 37.5.
I've never gone on a darkness retreat. My lights went out for about 6 minutes a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty scary. I thought I had a lot of insight on life and everything. And just as I was about to really get the answers, they came back on. I can't imagine Rodgers playing this season either. Mason, again, we got a game only a gambler could love. You're a gambler. Do you love it?
No, I do not love it, but I'm going to get bold here. I'm going to pick a side. I'll take one for the team here, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I've been looking at it all morning. I'm going to take the Jets -3 at home. Like you guys said, the Commanders, they've fallen off a cliff offensively, and defensively, they haven't been able to stop anyone the last 5 weeks. Now, the Jets, as much as I don't like their offense, I think they can eventually score on this struggling Commanders team, and I like their defense a lot better. I think that they're going to show up and make it really tough on Howell, and the Jets are going to somehow, in an ugly way, I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but they're going to cover the 3 points.
That's what we like to hear from our handicappers, ladies and gentlemen. Extreme confidence.
That game is – if you want a game to skip, that's the one I would advise to skip.
When we say it, it's carved in stone. Take it to the bank. So it was written. So let it be done. Seamus Cole, take a stand.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I like
take that.
I like the under in this case. I'm going to go with Mark and Sand on this one. The Commanders have scored 20 points or less in their last 4 games, and the Jets have scored 13 points or less in their last 7, with exception to the game against the Texans where they scored 30 points. But even with that total, I'm going to include it. We're doing more Seamus math here. Even with that game against the Texans, the Jets are still 3rd worst in scoring overall this season. And the Commanders have lost their last 5 in a row, as Mason has pointed out. They've been terrible. I doubt they come out with much energy, considering they're far out of the playoffs at this point. So I like the under in this case.
Seamus' background as a platform diving judge is now coming into play as he's throwing out the high and the low scores. So very good. David Murata, you got an opinion?
You know, I'm not backing out, but I'm going to admit this is definitely my least favorite because I have definitely flip-flopped my side a few times. But looking at this, I mean, I hate this Commanders team overall. I hate this Commanders defense. I hate this Jets offense. Looks like Zach Wilson looks like he's questionable as bad as this offense has been. They've even been worse without him. I think that the Jets will be motivated to win their last home game. But then when you look at the Commanders, they have to play the 49ers and the Cowboys after this. They don't win this one, Ron Rivera probably doesn't get another win as the coach for the Commanders. I'm going to take the Commanders in this one just because they're getting points. And I feel like this is one of those games that we could struggle over so much that just ends up falling exactly on 3. So with that buffer or a chance that the Commanders win, I'll take the Commanders at +3.
All right. Yes, you look at the Jets offense and the Commanders defense. That's no game recognized, no game right there. This defensive unit of Washington is absolutely puking up points, giving up 33 1/3 points in their last 7 games. Jesus, 33 1/3. I hope it was a double album at least. That's not good, kids. I don't know how closely you follow NFL, but that's a lot of points. Luckily, their offense has also been terrible over the span of the last 5 weeks. They've topped 20 just one time in that time period, or as we say, they haven't topped it at all, except for that one game when they did. They've averaged 18.6 points per game. For those of you scoring at home, and we hope you are, that's a 14.7 point differential. That's not good, kids. That's not good at all. I hate myself more than I can tell you. I got to take the Jets here. I think the Jets could just absolutely burst forth offensively and put over 17 points on the board in just one game. I think that's a possibility. And I think if they do, it's going to be plenty to cover the number. Give me the Jets. Okay. -3. And finally, for those of you old Ed McMahon, Johnny Carson fans, I hold in my hand the last game of the week. Hermetically sealed on the porch of Pumpkin Wagnalls in a hermetically sealed in a mayonnaise jar. That's it. All right, so 3 of them, you're like looking at me like, I don't know what the fuck. Lions and Vikings. Lions, 3-point road favorite. 47 is the number. For the last time today, Santa, tell us your thoughts.
Whoa, the Lions have been a bit of a disappointment to Santa, especially their defense, and these division games are usually close. I don't like the Lions defense against the Vikings in this game. And how can I vote against the Norsemen? I'm with the Vikings +3.
All right. You're on the Vikings, Santa? Very good. Want to hear him blow that big old horn. Vikings +3 at home. Let's talk. Oh, now I heard it this time. Very good. Let's talk to Mark Ruelle and see what he's weighing in with here.
First, I need to commend our venerable host for getting in a platform diving joke and a biscotti joke in the same telecast. It's just well done,
brother.
I'm looking at this game, and if you take away a couple key plays in the last game. I do believe the Vikings got away with keeping that game close last week, and their offense is really falling apart. 30th over the last month. They are 10th in running the ball, but the Vikings, but the Lions are 8th in stopping the run over the last month. The Vikings are also 27th in turnovers in the last month. The Vikings are scoring 5th highest in the league over the last month, and they get 2 cracks of this Minnesota team to seal the deal in the division. I like them. I will like them both times, and I certainly like them this week, just giving up 3. I think the Lions kind of got over their little hump of poor play. They still have a great ground attack. I think they can control the tempo of this game and take this one comfortably.
All right. Very nice. Mason, what say you?
Yep. I'm finishing it off with the Lions -3 as well. I think that the Detroit Lions got over their little hump. They struggled for a few weeks, but I'll tell you, they looked very good against the Broncos. They shut down the run. They made it really tough for the Broncos to move the ball, and I think that's going to continue to happen as this Vikings offense, as we know, them scoring 0 points against the Raiders a few weeks back. They're not very good. They got into a close one with the Bengals, but I think that was, more fluky than anything. I felt like the Bengals should have won that game by more, and I just don't trust this Minnesota team. They had that big run early, but they've fallen off, and kind of like all the other teams that have swapped quarterbacks, when you're on to your second or third guy, it usually doesn't go good. So I'm going to stick with the Lions, and I'm going to lay the 3 points on the road.
Okay, very good. What say you, Seamus Cole?
Yeah, I didn't trust the Lions a couple weeks ago against the Bears. That turned out to be right. I also like the Lions, but I do like the Lions in this case. The Vikings are weirdly 2-4 at home compared to Detroit's 5-2 record on the road. The Vikings have also scored 11 points per game in their last 3 on average. And they don't really know who to start at QB. As Mason said, it's between Dobbs and who else?
Mullins.
Yes, that one. Thank you. And then the Lions have won their last 2 of 3 against the Vikings, including. Okay.
Have your attention, please.
Cool.
A fire has been reported in the building. A fire has been reported.
I like the Lions -3.
Please proceed.
Who's got to go?
That pick was on fire.
Seamus Cole just set off the fire alarm with that one. That was a good one.
That's the pick of the day.
Okay, yeah, our picks are fire, everybody. Where are we at? That didn't throw me a bit. David Delano.
Yeah, the Lions are the better team, but looking at this, I think that this is a game that means a lot more to Minnesota when you look at their 7-7. Lions have not officially clinched the division yet, but they've got that 3-game lead. They've got Dallas on deck, and then they get another crack at Minnesota in a couple weeks when they end the season. I know this is a new Lions team, but they've lost their last 5 times that they've traveled to Minnesota, and they've lost 8 out of the last 10 to the Vikings. Also, Detroit's last 2 losses, they're 4-2 in their last 6 games. Both losses were divisional games as a favorite when they lost to the Packers and the Bears. I like the Vikings in this one at plus the 3.
Okay, very good. Mason, can we just make a loop out of that recording? Like anytime we really like a pick, a fire has been reported in the building. Fire.
I can definitely say that. That could definitely happen. It's a good idea.
All right. So I'm going to go last on this one as the NFC North battle takes the cake to the last early game on Saturday. Or Sunday, rather. Quick reminder to everybody, if you like what you're hearing here, make sure you check out all of our stuff over there at the Whiners and Whiners website. We all sell premium picks, and you'll have our favorite thoughts on these games and so many more. Just click the Experts tab and pick your favorite handicapper. You can check record. You can see who's hot in what sport, who to play, and who to avoid. Yeah, I'm going to shut up so we can record it.
Oh, your pick is going to be good. It's already fire.
I didn't even get to hear it. I don't hate Minnesota in this spot. I thought Detroit was going to let me down last weekend. I was all over the Denver Broncos. That was one of my favorite plays of the week, and that absolutely was a terrible play. Just absolutely terrible as Detroit imposed their will on the Broncos on both sides of the ball. I think both teams are going to be able to score here is what I'm saying. This is a Detroit Lions defense that is still not playing good football. Played good last week against Denver. Not sure exactly what that means. We're still giving up 26.7 points. Came over their last 6. Nick Mullins, he was good last week against Cincy. 28-33, 303 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. I believe he'll be making this start again. I think both of these teams are going to be able to put some points on the board. And for that reason, I'm going to play the over 47. There you go. That's a show, boys. That was something. That was something right there. We brought in the extra guy. We brought in Santa. And I want to thank, of course, Santa for being here today. Thanks for taking time out of probably a pretty busy time of year, huh, Santa?
Merry Christmas to everybody, and I can always make time for Winners and Whiners.
Very good. Very good. And that's kind of the Winners and Whiners is kind of the premise of the whole Santa gig. You got the winners are getting presents, and you got the whiners getting the big lump of coal. So, Santa was the original disseminator of the Winners and Whiners list. So, let's go around real quick, excuse me, guys, and tell everybody where we can find you, where we can read your clever missives from social media, and where we can find your picks. We'll start with Santa. Santa, you have a nom de plume,
Well, I'll tell you, I do have a favorite over there at Winners and Whiners, and that's that Loud Esmond character. And so you can find his stuff. He started off the season on fire. He's fallen off the last couple of weeks, but he usually does really well in the playoffs. So, watch for Loud Esmond's picks as the season rolls on.
All right, very good. And congratulations to be able to do that voice the entire way. I didn't think you'd be able to pull it off. I'm impressed. That's something right there. Oh, Mark, where can we find you?
You are correct, sir. You can find me at BetWithRue24 on Twitter /X. And also, if you want to go to YouTube under I Honestly Think, all one word, I'm going to have my upset of the week each week. That'll be free for you to enjoy.
I Honestly Think. What is that? What is that again on YouTube?
I Honestly Think on YouTube. Yes.
Is that like that really grinds my gears?
Yes, I stole my that was my Family Guy steal of the day.
Kind of an old man yells at clouds sort of thing. Do you just bitch about random stuff? How does it work?
Then I throw things right at the camera. I'm going to give my upset special of the week. If you remember 2 weeks ago, I took the Jets. Everybody poo-pooed me, and the Jets won 30-0. Mm-hmm. Did it before with Carolina. I'm going to give my upset of the week each week. Could be in any sport, though. I'm not limiting it to the NFL.
Okay. All right. Could be any sport. So it could be middle school softball.
Absolutely.
You take a chance. I really like the Ace Hardware Tigers going up against the Blockbuster.
Where do you see my softball picks? It'll be unbelievable.
Very good. That's always a question. Anytime I hear about a new sport, somebody tell me about something is like, can you bet on it? Is there a line? Is there an angle here? Mason, can we find you anywhere? Where the hell are you?
You can find me on Twitter or X at Mason Folz. You can also find the Winners and Whiners main account on X, as we've been throwing out a ton of free picks, all of our YouTube free picks, all of our Discord and Twitter parlays, everything we got going, and TikToks we're putting on that Twitter account. So head over there. You can find me. You can find all of us selling our picks on the Winners and Whiners website, and we can keep winning together. So thank you.
Mason Folz was the Hannibal crossing the fucking Alps when it comes to getting our Twitter account back. For those of you that have followed the saga over the last 10 weeks or so, our account was pulled for no reason. We got it back about 2 weeks later, and then it was pulled again for no reason. Like a day later, Mason has written approximately, what'd you say, 200 emails?
Yeah, we'll go 200. That's a good, solid number.
200. I'll take the over. I'll take the over on that. 200 emails. The young fellow stayed with it and was able to get our account reinstated eventually. So congratulations to Mason. And if you please get over there and follow the Winners and Whiners Twitter X account. You can catch us on Discord too. That's a great place to hang out. If you're a degenerate gambler, you like to hang out with other degenerates. If you're tired of like speaking to people and them having no idea at all what the fuck you're talking about, go to Discord. Because they will understand completely what you're talking about, as long as it's sports related. If you're just a psycho and babble shit, it's not going to help you. But if you talk sports to people that don't understand gambling terminology, get your ass over to Discord because they're there all the time just talking about sports and numbers, totals, and it's just it's cool. Cool. Get over to Discord and check it out. Where are we at? How about a little Seamus Cole? Can we find famous Seamus anywhere?
All right, I'm gonna make this quick. If you don't find me in the obituary dying to a fire, you can find me on the Winners and
my
Whiners
closet's
page.
on fire. So
Yeah, well, it hasn't reached my room yet or my apartment, so we're good. Yeah, if I'm not dead yet, you can find me on Winners and Whiners, the experts page, like all these other great human beings. You can also find me on Stat Salt, where I write at least one article every day, ranging from college basketball to hockey to college football, NFL, all the sports across the globe. And yeah, I will hopefully be doing more social media stuff like Twitter and stuff starting 2024. That might be a goal of mine. We'll see how week 18 pans out, whether I'll be on there or not. But for now, I'm just going to avoid a fire. So thank you guys. Take care.
Okay. I'd like to bring up a couple of points. Number one, Seamus, the ultimate team player, the ultimate gamer, by waiting to leave the show while there's a fire going on. He wanted to wait until the show was over so he could leave. Number two, I hope he makes it out alive, because I will never be able to live with myself for not fucking letting him go first. We need to talk about where we can find him on social media. He waited to go third, and hopefully that doesn't cost him his life. So, Seamus, you look young and skinny. I hope you put it to good use and run like the wind, son. Run like the wind. David Delano, good luck following that.
I like how he took the extra time to let us know that he might be on social media in 2024.
It all depends on whether he makes it out or not.
Touch and go. I'm not gonna lie, it's touch and go.
He's not ready to commit. We got 10 days left. He's not ready to commit yet.
But I'm on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Get Sports Strong, and along with everybody else here on the expert section of the Winners and Whiners page. We've been having a good NFL season. Did not have a good NFL week last week, so that means it's going to be a good Christmas this weekend. I really believe it. So, all right.
All right, very good. You can catch me over on the Twitter X at SteehnRoller. It's oddly enough, it matches up pretty well with that handle you see right below my picture as we do this video. So check over there. I've usually got some bad takes to share from the world of sport, and you can find my premium picks over there at the Winners and Whiners expert section. I have been in the absolute garbage for the last 2 months in the NFL. Do not buy my picks; they're terrible. So, having said that, college basketball so far has been my game. So, if you're looking for college basketball, if you're ready to make the transition from football, all the cool kids are betting college basketball, and I am winning over there. So make sure you check out some of those picks. And this is Tuesday. By the time this comes out on Thursday, there's a very good chance I will be back on the video platform. So make sure you check out YouTube for videos, not just from Mason and not just from David, not just from Loud, but from yours truly right there, making his semi-triumphant return to the world of YouTube sports prognosticating. All right, everybody. That's the end of the road. Everybody dismount. Make sure you have all your belongings and step carefully out of the car. We appreciate everybody joining us, not just today, but the entire season as we wind up 3 more weeks left in the regular season. No, 2 more weeks left in the regular season after this, 17 and 18, then we'll be back to the playoffs. So, yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Happy holidays to everybody. Hope everybody has a great Christmas and whatever holiday you might happen to celebrate. Hope you have a good one of those too. And you know what the hell? I don't care. No matter what religion you are. Hope you have a good Christmas. It's a Monday. There's going to be games. Yeah, have a great Christmas. Let's go win some games. All right? Guys, have a great day. We'll see you next week on the NFL Winners and Whiners Preview Show.